Welcome to another Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous here in the Car Wizard channel. Let's get started. So here we are kind of having a fireside chat here at the Car Wizard's house. It is Christmas time, although you could watch this video any time of the year really if you wanted to. But this is kind of like it's Christmas, maybe you won the lottery and you can get that dream car you've always wanted. I'm going to list some exotics or some ultra luxury cars, what you should buy, what you shouldn't buy. And some of the shouldn't buys, actually all the shouldn't buys, are going to be pretty out there. So without further ado, let's get started. In the category of Bentley, the one to buy is 2011 to 2018 Bentley Continental GT, specifically the V8. Skip on the W12, get the V8. These can get 26 miles per gallon on the highway and they still have 500 horsepower. It's not maximum power like some of the W12s, but it has plenty of power, decent gas mileage, and here's a really cool trick. I've worked on a lot of these that have the V8s. It's an Audi 4-liter twin-turbo V8 that's in there. And a lot of the parts that are on Audi cars that have that engine bolt right on. You don't have to buy them from the Bentley dealer. You can get them from any Audi supplier or even Volkswagen supplier. And get those parts and put them on. I fixed a ton of Bentley V8s with Audi parts. If you have the V8, it doesn't require an engine out job every time you got to do the starter, every time the oxygen sensors need replaced, every time that you have cracked vacuum lines over the transmission firewall area. It doesn't require engine out all the time. V8 is the way to go. Now the one not to buy is Hoovie's Russian Mobster Bentley. Definitely don't buy one of these. He's already been through the rigmarole of buying one of these. You can actually go to Hoovie's garage and check out the video he did on that and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the reasons why you shouldn't: there has been unknown number of dead bodies in the trunk. Literally. There could be bloodstains in the trunk. You could possibly find a weapon in the trunk stuffed somewhere that was used in the aforementioned murders. You can be guaranteed it has received zero maintenance because you can't take a car to a repair shop when it possibly has bodies in the trunk. So oil changes, regular scheduled maintenance, not happening. You can also be guaranteed it's had multiple 150 mile an hour or higher police chases that resulted in driving over railroad tracks at high speed, dirt roads, fields, all kinds of things that have absolutely destroy the suspension. So don't buy Hoovie's Russian Mobster Bentley. You will lose every penny that you spent on that car. Now we're going to move into the category of Rolls-Royce. The ones you should buy: 2004, 5, 6, somewhere in this range, Rolls-Royce Phantom. Just as I mentioned in the Bentley V8s, you can use Audi parts. The same applies in the Rolls-Royce Phantoms. In these early years, you can just use BMW parts. A lot of parts transfer over, the fuel injectors, a lot of gaskets, a lot of different things from a BMW 760 transfer right over. You can go and order parts for the BMW, save a lot of money, and not have to go through a Rolls-Royce dealer. They're actually fairly reliable. Whenever I've had them come into the shop, they do need a few repairs here or there. But it's never a laundry list of repairs of just thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. It's usually a few items and the car's back out the door. They're actually pretty decent, and these things ride amazing. They have the magic carpet ride is what it's called. It's like you're literally floating on air. It is so nice. But they are fairly large. They're almost like an SUV that's just not as tall. They're big cars. You can actually find a lot of these for sale just under $100,000. You can get them for 80 or 90. They might need a little bit of work, but you don't have to spend $500,000 to buy one. You can get one for 90 or 100,000. The one not to buy is me and Mrs. Wizard's old 1976 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. Every main wiring harness in the entire car has been cut in half by a previous owner who was going through the throes of Alzheimer's and thought they were fixing the car. They were actually ruining the car. like destroying it. There's a link in the description below. You can go check out that video and see the car, but it was absolutely destroyed. The entire brakes and suspension had leaks all over the place, and this is one of those things on the 70s and 80s Rolls Royces that will total them. The suspension's leaking, the brake system is all tied in together, and to go through and go do the whole system can be easily $20,000 or $30,000. There were interior pieces laying in the trunk. I didn't even know what some of them went to. Some of them had been cut on or hacked on so badly that I didn't even know what went where, and I kind of had to, like a jigsaw puzzle, kind of put it back together. There was also many unknown wiring modifications in random places where I would follow a diagram and end up at a place where it should have 5 or 6 wires. There's only 2, or they've rewired it with all the same color wiring. They're all white wires, and you don't know what goes where, and it was really, really bad. That one went to J&J Auto Wrecking after it was done, and it's been parted out. It's gone. That car was a goner. Don't buy that one. Now we're going to move into the category of Ferrari. And the ones to buy is really any year 458. These are actually very reliable. They're built very well. My Ferrari tech Danielson, who works in a shop, has said many times they're just basically bulletproof. You can get 100,000 miles out of them without major repairs or anything. And there's no serious major engine out services like on the older Ferraris. You can maintain them with just basic services, and they really go a long time. They have amazing styling, interior and exterior, and I really love the taillights on them. The 488 and the 458 kind of share the styling, and they look amazing. These have a F1 style transmission. I don't know if it's called F1 today, but the shifting on them is so fast. It's lightning fast. Several owners I've known that bring them into our shop have said, I've never driven a car that even just barely thinking about and just barely touching the shifter paddle, boom, you're in the next gear. Just that fast. They shift extremely fast. The values are continually going up, just like many Ferraris do. I know some customers who've had them that bought them for 150, 170 range. They're now worth 250, 280. So they've gained quite a lot of value. So definitely a to buy. The one not to buy is a 1978 Ferrari 308 from Tavares. Freddie. It will come with no doors attached. They'll be included in the sale, but they'll be set aside separate for you to put on. The wheel wells will be coated in animal crap. You definitely want to make sure that you check on that because it very likely could be. It will run, but when it does run, it sounds like a Subaru with the exhaust cut off. It sounds terrible because all 8 cylinders are not firing. It's only firing on 6. And the weird firing order that they have makes it sound exactly like a Subaru. It's also likely if you purchase this is that Freddie has hired a model during Car Trek and had them stand on the front frunk on the paint job with their Louboutin high heels and scratch the paint all up. And you can see where she stood. And the entire cooling system is not working as far as the fans and everything. It doesn't cool. It doesn't even cool at all. So definitely don't buy one of those. You will get hosed. It took 2 years and lots of work and help from Jared Pink from the Questionable Garage to get this thing EFI converted and completely sorted, and it's actually been sold. It's a good running car when we got rid of it, but it took so much to get it there. The next category is going to be Maserati. And the ones to buy are really any year Levante. These have amazing looks for an SUV. Both when Mrs. Wizard owned one and also people I know that own them say that they frequently get looks like they do double takes. They're like, wow, what is that? And they see it's a Maserati and then they just stare like this. Like my first YouTube video. And as opposed to what people normally think about a Maserati, that they're terribly unreliable, they're broken all the time, it's actually not true. Mrs. Wizard's Levante never broke down. It only had a few small issues, and there were several in the area I've worked on, and the customers have said the same thing. I really haven't had any trouble out of this car. One owner who lives not too far from here mentioned to me they had more trouble with a Honda they used to have than they did out of their Levante. So they actually are pretty reliable now. These have a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 with around 340 horsepower. They're actually pretty fast. And they get about 26 or 7 miles per gallon on the highway. And you can actually get one for under $40,000 right now. This may be 5, 6 years old, 70, 80, 90,000 miles on it. You can get one for really $40,000. You can't get a new Camry for that. So really, it's a pretty good deal. Now, the one not to buy is Hoovie's Garage Maserati, which we kind of jokingly call it that because it literally had meth in it, like real meth. There's a link in the description if you want to go click and watch the videos he has on those that describes what I'm talking about here. And we call it the Maserati, but it was a 2019 Maserati Levante, a white one. It was actually used in Car Trek in the Oregon Fail series. Now, this particular Levante is the one I'm getting at not to buy. Levantes in general are nice, but don't buy this particular one is what I'm getting at. Even though it was a 2019, it had 100,000 miles on it. And in those 100,000 miles, it had 2 oil changes. That's it. Just 2 oil changes. Somehow it was still alive. The trunk had multiple places where there was actual real meth hidden in the trunk. Tyler from Hoovie's Garage actually got the police involved and handed it over, said, I don't want any trouble with this. I want this out of my car. I don't need to be pulled over with this in there. And it definitely was meth. And also because there was meth in the car, there was a strange smell in the car. It smelled like a rolling meth lab every time you drove the car. You can be guaranteed this car had multiple over 100-mile-an-hour police chases. Again, going on 2 oil changes in 100,000 miles. It was treated very badly. And to reiterate again, the smell in the interior was really bad. So definitely don't buy Hoovie's Garage Maserati. The last category we have is Lamborghini. And the one to buy is really any year Gallardo. Unlike a lot of Ferrari models, these don't have engine-out services needed. They're actually fairly reliable. And just like with the Bentley, there's a lot of parts from the Audi Volkswagen world that will cross over and work on the Gallardos. My friend Leo, who you've seen his Murcielago in the shop, the silver one, he used to have a Gallardo. And when his AC compressor went bad, I was able to source one off of an Audi S6 with the V10. It was the same AC compressor, identical. It saved a ton of money. These have plenty of power. They are the smaller Lamborghini. They're kind of called the baby Lamborghini. But I know from experience, easily 130 miles an hour, no problem. I actually got a ticket once going that fast, and I got it taken care of, but that car had no trouble egregiously breaking the speed limit. My favorite styling are the early 04, 5, 6 range. They have the blocky tail lights, not the weird striped or stripped ones. I love the styling of those. From the tail end, it just looks like a linebacker about to just take you down in a football game. It's really, really masculine, really, power. It looks great. You can actually get some of them now for under $100,000. I've seen some on Marketplace. They need some work, but they need 80, 90, 95. You can have a Lamborghini. And the one not to buy is Hoovie's Garage, orange 2006 Lamborghini Murcielago. It will come initially with a bad transmission. It will have grinding or some weird gear noises going on in second, or I think it was third gear. It will also get terrible gas mileage. 10 miles per gallon, maybe 6 or 8 or 7 if you're really hard on it, driving it hard. It will also come with a customer-demanded access panel. That's right. A hole the size of a football drilled right through the carbon fiber tunnel where the transmission is, so we could get to some of the sensors and things, the range position sensors. That was not my idea. That was Tyler's idea. He said, I want you to do this. For YouTube, let's do it. And because of this, it will never have its full value for the rest of its life. What it could be worth, it will never reach or attain that height of value because of the hole. So definitely don't buy Hoovie's Garage 2006 orange Lamborghini Murcielago. You're probably going to lose some money. Hopefully I've given you guys some great ideas. If you win the lottery, those are some vehicles you can buy with assurance, and it's going to be fun and not break the bank. And also several ideas, although you have the money now that you won the lottery, some cars you definitely should not buy under any circumstance. And hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the comedy we have with this video. It's kind of a funny video, but also very informative. There are some great tips and tricks there for you guys who are looking for some of those cars. And if you're watching this live, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year to you guys. Thanks for watching.